She was curious, too curious, some said. Where others wanted control and order, she wanted discovery. She believed every life form had something worth studying. That was why she found humans fascinating. The Zorth saw humans as a young, emotional, and chaotic species. They laughed too much, cried too easily, and fought often. But Intava saw something more. She saw a spark, something she could not explain with science alone. Inside her laboratory, far below the shining towers of the Zorth capital, Intava prepared for another night of experiments. The lab lights hummed softly and the glass chambers glowed with cool blue energy. On her table lay a small silver container, recently delivered from a trade vessel. It held a sample of human DNA, a legal gray area, but Intava didn't care. "This is it," she whispered to herself. "Let's see what makes them different." She placed the sample into the energy chamber and activated the quantum field generator. Her instruments beeped, measuring reactions between human cellular energy and the Zorth resonance field. At first, everything was normal. Then the lights flickered. The containment field grew unstable. The soft hum turned into a rising hum like something alive. Strange. Intava adjusted the controls. The energy output is increasing on its own. Suddenly, the light burst from the chamber and surrounded her. It wasn't cold like normal energy. It was warm. It moved along her skin like sunlight. She stumbled backward, shielding her face. But when she looked down, she gasped. Her hands were glowing. Not the sterile blue of Zorth light, but a warm golden color, alive and pulsing. Her heart, or whatever her species called the glowing organ in her chest, raced. She had never seen anything like it. Then a voice spoke. Not in her lab, not from her communicator, but inside her mind. Hello, where am I? Intava froze. She looked around, heart pounding. Who said that? The voice came again, calm but confused. You can hear me? I was checking a relay panel on my ship and suddenly everything went white. Now I'm seeing through someone else's eyes. Are you glowing? Her 4 eyelids blinked rapidly. Who are you? How are you in my mind? My name's Eli Parker. Human engineer, Earth Expeditionary Corps. The voice paused. And you? I am Dr. Intava of the Zorth Research Guild. She swallowed, trying to steady her shaking hands. This cannot be possible. You are light years away. Eli chuckled, a soft human sound that made her chest feel warm. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I can see your lab. Weird glass tubes, floating lights, and wow, is that you? You've got 4 eyes. That's awesome. She frowned. This is not awesome. This is a catastrophic containment failure. But even as she said it, she couldn't help noticing how alive she felt. The energy around her pulsed brighter every time he spoke. When Eli laughed again, her glow grew stronger, spreading up her arms. What is happening to me? She muttered. I think your experiment linked us somehow, Eli said. Maybe our energies got mixed up. You're running some kind of quantum field, right? Intava blinked. You understand quantum resonance? Not much, Eli admitted. But I work with power grids on starships. I know a feedback loop when I feel one. She stared at her instruments. The readings were impossible. Human energy patterns merging with Zorth frequency, forming a perfect harmonic match. It was something no scientist had ever recorded. I need data, she said quickly. Do not move. I must analyze this. Kind of hard not to move when I don't even know where I am, Eli said with a laugh. The laugh again. Warm, open human, and the light around her flared so brightly it filled the room. Stop laughing, she said, covering her face. You are making me brighter. Eli chuckled again, on purpose this time. Sorry. Guess I'm just happy I'm not dead. Despite herself, Intava let out a small laugh too. The sound felt strange coming from her. Zorths rarely laughed and was considered childish. Yet as her laughter mixed with his, the glow changed from gold to soft pink. The instruments could not keep up. They beeped wildly and then went silent. This is, she whispered, unbelievable. Eli's tone grew gentle. You okay over there, Doc? I do not know, she said honestly. No experiment has ever caused this reaction. I feel... She hesitated, searching for a word. Alive. He smiled, though she couldn't see it, only feel it through the link. Welcome to being human, I guess. Hours passed as they tried to understand what had happened. Intava explained the Zorth technology. Eli explained human biology. Every time she grew frustrated, he cracked a joke. Every time he got confused, she guided him patiently. Somewhere in between equations and explanations, A connection began to form, not just through energy, but through trust. At one point, Eli asked, "Why were you studying us anyway?" And Tava paused. "Because your kind should not be as adaptable as you are. You survive everything, hunger, war, even space travel. My people have no such resilience. We are logical, efficient, but fragile." "Maybe it's because we care too much," Eli said softly, "about home, family, dreams. It keeps us fighting." "Care," and Tava repeated, tasting the word like a new element. "Interesting." The glow in her chest brightened again. Later that night, the Guild's main computer detected abnormal power usage in her sector. A message flashed across her terminal. "Energy anomaly detected. Investigation pending," and Tava cursed under her breath. No, not now." Eli noticed her tension. "Problem?" "The Guild will inspect my lab," she said quickly. "If they find you this link, they will shut it down. They fear what they cannot measure. And if they shut it down, I do not know," she admitted. "It might kill you. Or me." There was silence for a moment, then Eli spoke quietly. "Guess we better figure this out fast, huh?" She nodded, though he couldn't see it. "Yes, we must find a way to stabilize the link before they arrive." As she worked, Eli kept her focused, asking questions about her world. What did the Zorth eat? Did they have music? Did they dream? At first, she gave short scientific answers. But as the night went on, she found herself explaining more, and not just data, but feelings. How she used to dream of color before she even knew what color was. How she always felt small under the Guild's strict system. How this glow, strange as it was, made her feel something she had never felt before. Freedom. Eli listened silently. Then he said, "Maybe your glow isn't a mistake. Maybe it's you learning to feel like us." Tava almost smiled. "Impossible. Emotions are chemical illusions." "Maybe," he said, "but sometimes illusions are what make life real." Her instruments beeped again, but she didn't look at them. She just stood there, hands glowing softly in the dark lab. Hours later, the first light of Veltrian's twin suns shone through the lab windows. The energy chamber had stabilized, but the link remained strong. Eli's voice grew faint as his ship moved farther away. "Hey, Doc. Whatever happens, I think this was worth it." She blinked slowly. "Even if it costs us our lives?" He laughed weakly. "You've already made me glow inside." "I think that's a win." Her glow brightened one last time. She didn't know what that meant for science or for her species. But she knew one thing. This human, this strange, laughing, brave creature, had changed something inside her forever. And as the Guild's inspection alert flashed red across her screen, Tava whispered into the fading link, "You got me glowing, human." The link with the human, Eli Parker, stayed strong. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw flashes of his world. Metal corridors, soft yellow lights, and the endless dark of space beyond the ship's windows. And in return, Eli saw her world too. He saw the shining towers of Veltrion, the pale blue sky that glowed even at night, and the strange beauty of a planet that never knew laughter. At first, the connection frightened Tava. It broke every rule of Zorth science, but soon the fear turned into curiosity. "Can you still see my lab?" she asked softly. Eli's voice echoed in her mind, calm and a little amused. "Yeah, it's kind of amazing, Doc. Everything looks so clean and smooth. And those floating data crystals? They look like fireflies." "Fireflies?" Tava asked. "Little glowing insects from Earth," he explained. "They light up at night. Kids chase them sometimes." "Children chase light?" "Yeah, for fun." Tava tilted her head, confused. "Your species wastes energy on chasing light." Eli laughed. "Not for energy. For joy." Joy. That word stayed in her mind. Zorths did not have a word for joy. They had words for efficiency, logic, progress, but not that. She touched her glowing hand. "Perhaps that is why I glow when you laugh." In the following days, Tava kept the experiment secret. She told the Research Guild that she was working on energy containment recalibration. But every night, when the lab was empty, she spoke with Eli. He told her stories of Earth, oceans that moved, animals that sang, storms that painted the sky. He even tried to describe what music sounded like. "It's like patterns of sound that make you feel things," Eli said. "Like when you look at stars and suddenly remember home." Tava tried to imagine it. "We have harmonic equations," she said. "But they are used for measurement, not emotion." "Then you've never really heard music," Eli said softly. When I get back to Earth, I'll show you, she smiled faintly. If this link lasts that long. But trouble was growing. The Guild had noticed unusual power readings in her sector. Reports were sent to Inspector Vrax, a tall Zorth with dark markings across his crest and a strict devotion to the rules. Vrax entered the lab one morning without warning. "Dr. Ntava," he said coldly, "you have been using unregistered power levels for several cycles. Explain." Ntava's heart raced. "A containment test, Inspector. I am recalibrating resonance levels for interspecies analysis." He studied her glowing hands. "And this illumination?" She quickly turned her palms over. "A minor radiation side effect." Vrax leaned closer. "You are hiding something." "I hide nothing," she said firmly. But as he left, his sharp eyes scanned the chamber, the same one that held Eli's energy pattern. He made a note on his device. Ntava exhaled slowly after he was gone. "That was close," she whispered. "You okay, Doc?" Eli's voice came gently through the link. "They are suspicious," she said. "If they discover you, they will destroy the chamber. And maybe kill us both," Eli added quietly. "Yes," she said, her tone low. "We must be careful." For the next few days, Ntava worked secretly to stabilize the connection. She wanted to make sure that if the Guild interfered, neither of them would die. Eli helped her however he could. He explained how humans used adaptive energy converters on their ships. Together, they combined Zorth technology with human logic. When something went wrong, Eli stayed calm. "You're overloading the secondary feed. Try balancing the frequency instead of forcing it," she frowned. "That is not how resonance works." "It is on human ships," Eli said. "Sometimes pushing harder breaks things. You need balance," Ntava tried his method, and to her surprise it worked. The chamber's light stabilized into a soft golden pulse. She looked amazed. "How did you know?" Eli chuckled. "We humans break a lot of stuff before we figure it out." She almost laughed. "Perhaps that is your species' method of discovery. Destruction followed by learning." "You're not wrong," he said with a grin she could feel through the link. Each night, their connection grew deeper. It was no longer just voices. Ntava could feel his heartbeat when he was afraid, and he could sense her calm focus when she worked. One evening, Eli said quietly, "You know, you remind me of my sister." Ntava raised a brow. "Your sibling?" "Yeah, she's a scientist too. Always asking questions no one wants to answer." Ntava tilted her head. "And what happened to her?" "She's back on Earth," he said softly. "I promised I'd come home safe." There was silence for a while. Then Ntava said, "Perhaps you still will. If we can control this link, you can return." "Maybe," Eli said, "but I'm not sure I want to break it yet. Talking to you, it feels like seeing the universe in a new way." Her glow brightened again. "You speak strange words, human." "And you make me glow too, Doc," Eli said with a laugh. The next day, the Guild sent an official notice. Laboratory 47 is under observation for potential containment violations. Inspector Vrax will conduct a full inspection within one cycle. Ntava's hands shook as she read the message. "They are coming," she whispered. Eli grew serious. "Then we need to move fast. Can you transfer my energy pattern to a secure channel?" "I can try," she said, activating new instruments. "But it might destabilize the link." "Do it anyway," Eli said. "If they find me, they'll erase everything." She worked fast. The machines hummed, lights flickered, and her skin glowed brighter and brighter as energy moved through her. "Eli, are you still there?" she asked. "Still here," he said through the static. "You're doing great, Doc." The field spiked, and pain shot through her chest. "Ah, Ntava!" Eli shouted. "Stop! You're overloading again." She gritted her teeth. "I must finish. I can stabilize it." The energy exploded in a flash of gold. Both of them screamed as the connection went wild. Then, silence. Ntava fell to her knees, gasping for air. The room was smoking, her instruments broken. The glow around her faded to a dim light. "Eli?" she whispered. No answer. She touched the main console. Static filled her mind. Then faintly his voice returned. "Still here. Just dizzy. What happened?" She let out a shaky breath. "The transfer failed. The link is too strong. If I remove it, we both could die." "Then we'll figure out another way," Eli said weakly. "We always do." The next morning, Inspector Vrax returned with 2 assistants. Dr. Antava, he said, his tone sharp. We detected a power surge last night. You will explain, she kept her face calm. It was an equipment malfunction. Vrax's gaze moved to the darkened chamber. You have damaged guild property. I will repair it. He stared at her glowing hands again. Your body shows continued radiation effects. This is not standard containment work. You are experimenting on yourself. It is necessary for calibration, she said quickly. But Vrax didn't believe her. You will submit your research logs by the end of the cycle, and I will return for questioning. After he left, Antava sank into her chair. Her hands trembled. They will discover the truth. Eli spoke gently. Then maybe I should come to you. She blinked in shock. Come here? Across the stars? I can try, he said. My ship's got jump engines. If I can calculate your coordinates from the resonance signal, I might find your planet. That is madness, she said. You could die in hyperspace. He smiled softly through the link. You said humans survive impossible things, remember? Antava didn't answer. Her glow pulsed once, faint but steady. For the first time, she didn't just feel like a scientist. She felt like something more. Something alive, connected, and brave. That night, as she looked at the stars through the laboratory window, she whispered, Why are you doing this, human? Eli's voice came through the bond, quiet and sincere. Because you showed me there's light out there that no one's seen before. I can't just turn it off. Antava smiled faintly. You are reckless. Yeah, Eli said. But maybe that's what it takes to glow. And as the stars shimmered above Veltrion, Antava's hands began to shine again, brighter, warmer, and filled with something new. Not fear. Not logic. But hope. The laboratory was silent. Dr. Antava sat alone beside the dark chamber, her hands still faintly glowing. She had not spoken to anyone from the guild since Inspector Vrax's last visit. They were watching her. Cameras had been placed near the door. Her research access was limited, but she didn't care about that anymore. Her only worry was Eli. The connection between them had grown weaker. His voice sometimes flickered with static, fading in and out like a faraway echo. Eli, she whispered. Can you hear me? There was a short delay before his reply came, faint but warm. Yeah, Doc. Still here. Systems are struggling. Long-range jump drained the power core. You should not have come, she said softly. It is dangerous. I'm almost there, he said. Picked up your planet on the scanners. Veltrion, right? Big blue world with silver clouds? Yes, she said quietly, her chest tightening. How far? Half a day if the engines hold, Eli answered. After that, I'll land. We'll fix this together. Antava looked at the dark sky outside her window. You really are reckless, human. Eli chuckled weakly. Yeah, but I made a promise, remember? No one glows alone. Her eyes softened. Even through the failing link, his voice made her feel lighter. The next morning, Inspector Vrax returned with 2 guards. Dr. Antava, he said coldly, your experiment is over. The guild has ordered full termination. She stood from her chair. You cannot. The process is not stable yet. Exactly, Vrax said. It is unstable and dangerous. You will shut it down immediately. If I shut it down, she said firmly, a life will be lost. Vrax frowned. A life? What life? She hesitated. She knew telling him the truth could end everything, but lying now would only delay it. Human, she said simply. His name is Eli Parker. My experiment connected our energies. If I destroy the link, he will die. Vrax's eyes widened. You contacted a human? Without guild approval? You have broken every scientific code we live by. I saved a life, Antava said. And I learned something greater than the guild ever allowed. Vrax's tone hardened. You are infected by their emotions. You are no longer thinking logically. Guards prepare the containment erasure, Antava stepped back. No, you do not understand. But the guards moved toward the chamber, raising the control devices. Suddenly, the lab's lights flickered. The instruments began to hum. The air shimmered with golden light. Antava gasped. Eli, through the glowing field, his voice came stronger than before. Doc, I made it. The guard stopped, staring at the strange light filling the room. The energy formed a shape, human, transparent, like a projection made of sunlight. Eli's voice echoed through it. Guess I overcharged the engines, he said with a tired laugh. But hey, I'm here. And Tava's eyes widened in awe. You traveled across the stars using the resonance field? Sort of, Eli said. The link pulled me in. Guess we're sharing the same space now. Inspector Vrack stepped forward, alarmed. This is forbidden technology. You are contaminating Zorth systems. Eli turned toward him. Hey, big guy, she didn't do anything wrong. She just tried to understand life. Your life, my life. And she found something beautiful. Vrax raised his hand to activate the erasure command. Enough! This interference ends now! Antava shouted. Stop! If you destroy it, you will destroy both of us. Vrax hesitated, but only for a second. Then so be it. The guild survives through order, not chaos. He pressed the control pad. The energy field roared. The light around them turned blinding white. Antava screamed as pain surged through her body. Eli's voice echoed inside her mind. Antava, hold on, don't let go. I cannot stop it. She cried. Yes, you can, he said. You're stronger than you think. Focus on the connection, on us. She tried. Through the noise, she reached out toward his glowing figure. The moment their hands met, everything exploded into color. The laboratory vanished. The walls dissolved into light. For a few endless seconds, they were nowhere, floating in a sea of energy. Antava could see everything. The currents of power, the lines of data, the heartbeat of both worlds. And in the center stood Eli, smiling faintly. See? He said softly. We're just energy, Doc. Different shapes, same light. Tears, or their Zorth equivalent, filled her eyes. You humans, you change everything you touch. Maybe, he said, but you changed me too. The glow around them grew brighter and brighter until it burst outward in a wave that spread across the city of Veltrion. In the capital above, the citizens looked up as the sky turned gold. Buildings reflected warm light. For the first time in history, Zorths felt something they could not measure, warmth that reached their hearts. The guild's central towers, filled with emotionless scientists, froze their work. Machines recorded impossible data, energy resonance transforming into life energy. Inspector Vrax fell to his knees, staring at the light. What is this? Antava's voice, soft and clear, echoed through every speaker in the guild network. It is understanding, she said. It is connection. It is what you call impossible. When the light faded, the laboratory returned to normal, except everything was changed. The air smelled faintly sweet, and soft particles of golden dust floated like tiny stars. Antava lay on the floor, weak but alive. Her glow was no longer bright but steady and calm. She turned her head, and there, lying beside the chamber, was Eli Parker. Real solid human. His ship must have crashed near the lab. He groaned and opened his eyes. Doc, did we make it? She smiled weakly. You made it, human. He looked around at the shimmering dust in the air. Your planet's beautiful. She helped him sit up. You should not be here. The atmosphere may not suit you, he grinned. I'll take the risk. Inspector Vrax entered slowly, his eyes wide with disbelief. This is impossible. You merged energy forms without destruction. The readings, they show harmony. Antava stood, still supporting Eli. It was not done through logic, Inspector. It was done through trust. Vrax stared at them, uncertain. The guild will not understand this. Then they will learn, Antava said firmly. Because the universe is larger than our fear. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then, to everyone's surprise, Vrax lowered his device and bowed his head. Perhaps we have been blind. Over the next few days, the news spread across Veltrion. The story of the human and the glowing scientist became a symbol of hope. Zorths who had never felt emotion began to experiment with music, art, and laughter. The guild formed a new department for emotional energy studies, led by Antava herself. Eli helped them build translators and resonance bridges between ships and planets. He became the first human ambassador to the Zorth. One night, after a long day of research, Antava stood outside her lab with Eli beside her. The twin suns were setting, painting the sky with soft orange light. Hard to believe, huh? Eli said. A few weeks ago, you thought humans were chaotic. She smiled faintly. And now I understand that chaos can create beauty. He laughed. Told you. She looked down at her hands. They glowed softly. Not from the experiment, but from something deeper. The glow remains, she said. Even without the machines. Guess it's permanent, he said. You got that human light in you now, she turned to him.
No, it is not only human.
It is what happens when two minds choose to understand each other. He smiled. You sound like a poet. Perhaps you humans are rubbing off on me, she said. Amused, for a while they stood in silence, watching the stars appear one by one. Then Intava said softly, When you first spoke to me, I was afraid. I thought I had made a terrible mistake. Eli looked at her. And now? Now I know, she said, her glow brightening, that I made the greatest discovery of my life. He chuckled.
What's that?
She met his eyes and said the words that had begun their story. You got me glowing, human. And this time when she said it, the whole sky seemed to glow with her.